عليكم ورحمة الله. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وبعد. We'll continue to take your questions as usual. So if you have any question about fasting or Ramadan or Salah or anything else. Last night we had so many, yes. Yeah, the question is, we have Taraweeh, we have something called Qiyamul Layl, and we have Tahajjud. Taraweeh and Tahajjud are two types of Qiyamul Layl. Tahajjud is Qiyamul Layl, which is in the third of the night, the last third of the night. Taraweeh is a prayer that the Prophet ﷺ did for a couple of nights before he stopped, and it comes right after Isha, which is the first third of the night. And any Qiyam Layl at any time is called Qiyamul Layl. When the Prophet ﷺ did not come out to lead Taraweeh in the third night, they asked him, "Why don't you lead it?" He said, "I am afraid it may be made mandatory on you, and this could have been difficult." Yes. Yes, the question is, can you do Taraweeh and Tahajjud at the same night? Yes, you can. In fact, we do that. We did that last night. We'll do it the same tonight. Inshallah. Yeah, what is the number for Taraweeh? The number for Taraweeh varies based on whichever school of thought that you follow. So Muslim scholars did not agree to a set number because each of them got a message, or authentic message, I would say, that the Prophet ﷺ prayed that many. But the most authentic reference for Qiyamul Layl, specifically the Taraweeh, comes from Aisha radiallahu anha, where she said that the Prophet ﷺ never prayed more than 11 rak'ah in one night. Yeah, the Arabs and the Pakistanis, they do 20. Yeah, it's authentically referenced in Madhab al-Imam al-Shafi'i. Okay. Ibn Hanbal also makes it 20. But the other madhab, they make it 8. Yes. Yeah, the timing for salatul jum'ah. What is the appropriate timing for salatul jum'ah? Salatul jum'ah is unlike salatul dhuhr. Salatul jum'ah is a special prayer. It is more like salatul Eid than it is like salatul dhuhr. Okay? The established issue on this subject in the Sunnah is that everybody does the Jum'ah around the time of Zuhr. Okay? But there are allowances that make the Jum'ah has an extended time, where the Prophet ﷺ prayed the Jum'ah early in the day, like Salatul Eid, and in the duha time, and at noon time. So if you pray at any of these times, it's okay, so long as it is before Asr and well after sunrise. So Salat al-Jum'ah is from duha time until before Asr time. And the reason we are using this license is because we cannot accommodate everybody all at once at the same time. So we're using this extended time to cover this. Otherwise, in all the Muslim world, everybody prays Friday at the Zuhr prayer time. Okay? Yes. Yeah. If it is Salat al-Asr and you're going to miss it, you need to make the Salah, then do it in your car. But if it is Zuhr and you're tied in your car and it is heavily raining, you can make intention to combine Zuhr with Asr later. So you don't have to do it in the car. The reason is the license to pray sitting down is basically given to people who could not physically stand and make standing ruku' and sujood. This is where the license is. If somebody is sick or cannot have physical mobility, then they can do it even in their bed. But in the condition that you mentioned, I picked the Asr because you need not to miss it for Maghrib. But if it is a time that you can combine with a later prayer, then combine it later and don't pray sitting down. Yes. It is required that you face the Qibla in the beginning of your prayer, because استقبال القبلة ركن من أركان الصلاة. To face the Qibla is a rukn, it's a pillar of prayer. But if you are in your car, why shouldn't you direct it toward the Qibla as best as you can judge? But if you are in a bus, you're traveling somewhere in a bus or airplane, you try to pick the direction of the Qibla as best you can, and if the ship or the car or the bus moves right or left, you continue praying as you are. Yes. The question is, if somebody prays Taraweeh with us and he got tired, so he went home and he had the intention to pray with us tahajjud, right? But then he slept. He prayed Taraweeh, he became tired, he prayed the Shafa and Watr, and he slept. And he's asking, can he come and pray tahajjud with us? Yes, he can. He can come and pray with us tahajjud, but he will not be praying another witr on the same night. Yes. Yes. The question is, when we are born, certain things are written. Our term of life, right? And our rizq, and if we are going to have a good end or a bad end, basically, right? So the question is, why do we pray and fast and anything like this? Well, basically because you don't know what is written. You are going to write what is written, because what is written in the knowledge of Allah. It is not written on your forehead or your back. So you do what you do to shape your own fate. It's not clear? It's not clear. Okay, let me clear it. If you see a person driving a car recklessly, and you are an expert driver, and you know the traffic in the area, and you see the guy whizzing through the traffic, right? And you say, this guy is not going to cross 7 corners without an accident. Did you hold the steering from his hand? So if he does an accident, is it you to blame? Huh? That's it. Allah has written, there are 2 books of records. One is the eternal book of record that is in the Lawh al-Mahfuz, in the eternal book of record. And then there is another book that you write with your own hands and tongue and eyes and ears what you're doing. This is the book that you will receive on the Day of Judgment, and it will be spread open for you to read. And you will be told, اقرأ كتابك كفى بنفسك اليوم عليك حسيبا. Read your book, yourself is enough of a witness against you. So your skin will witness, your hands will witness, the earth you walked will witness, everything. So we work because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us, although I know where everybody is heading, but I am giving you the free will to choose to believe or not believe. And if you choose not to believe, this is what you get. If you choose to believe, you have 2 options: to be obedient believer or disobedient believer. If you are obedient, that's what you get. If you are disobedient, that's where you go. So who has the choices? It's individual. Okay? Yes. The second question is a question that was asked by the brother who said, I am in the car. And you seem to confuse two issues together, the Qibla and the sitting down. Okay? The Qibla is a rukn. And I said that he needs to direct his car to the Qibla to pray. Okay? And I gave the other alternative. If he's traveling in a van with group or in a bus or plane, that he needs to start the prayer facing the Qibla as best as he could. And then he stays praying in that direction no matter which direction the ship or the bus goes. Okay? Well, what I said was that the license to pray sitting down is predicated on the fact that the person cannot stand or make ruku' or sujood. But in this case, it becomes similar, even though he is physically able to do it, but the weather may not allow him to do it. So he becomes unable, even though he is not disabled. Okay? Last question. Yes. They did 8, they did 20, and in some madhab they did 36. The question is about deja vu. What does Islam say about deja vu? I don't know the hadith that talks about deja vu. It's, for me to speak on behalf of Islam, I have to have a reference. So I don't find deja vu in the Quran or the Sunnah. But what the brother actually means is when you see something happening and you think you have seen it before, right? And you face it and you are puzzled. Well, this happens almost to everybody. And Islam, to my knowledge, doesn't take a position on this. It's not haram, it's not halal, it's not anything. Okay. Salat Adhan al-Isha. Hussein? Sheikh Muhammad? Adhan?